All right, and welcome back to another episode here. I'm Ferlin. Got Lane here, who's bringing in another bottle of whiskey. This is an interesting looking bottle. Looks more like an older oil bottle, like a olive oil type bottle.
Yeah. So this is my newest bottle, and it's one that I just really wanted to share with everybody. This was on recommendation by a very good buddy of mine from Saskatchewan, Canada, named Chase. He wanted me to... Chance, excuse me. He'll kill me if I get it wrong.
By chance.
Yeah, by chance. This is 40 Creek Copper Pot. Now, when you live in the States, you're pretty unlucky when it comes to Canadian whiskey. We have our number... If you say Canadian whiskey, everybody in the world, in the U.S. is going to say, oh yeah, Crown Royal.
Crown Royal,
And
yeah.
Crown Royal has a wonderful marketing scheme, and it's remarkably smooth, but it's not a good whiskey. There's no complexity. It's a one-note hit, pushes through. I mean, I could sit down and drink it, but it's not something that I'm going to reach for, ever.
And 90% of the time, people use Crown Royal as a mix whiskey.
Yeah, and then they branch off into their flavors, which I don't drink flavored whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that. I rarely drink flavored whiskey.
I was about to say, I'm sure you've had some Fireball.
I'm not a fan of Fireball. But yes, I have. Actually, if we're talking about flavored, I do have a couple that I like, and we might touch base on that one day.
Some of the honey blends and stuff like that?
No, I've got a... we'll save that one for another day. It's the bottle alone. You'll love it.
Bottle alone, nice.
All right, so today we got 40 Creek Copper Pot. Now, 40 Creek Distillery was established in 1992 by Grimsby, Ontario, by John K. Hall. Now, John K. Hall did wine for years, and that's what he did. He was, I don't know what the term is for wine distillers, but he did wine. It's not distilling because that's liquor. So he did wine, and he took the approach transferring into whiskey from a very wine standpoint. So what he does is he takes single malt, and he distills it and he barrels it. And he takes rye, and he distills it and he barrels it. And he takes corn and he distills it and he barrels it. Where most people will mix 78 and 12 and 10% of these things, he does 100% of all three separate. Then, when they're done aging to whatever he feels necessary, he blends them together in their percentages at that point, and then rebarrels them. It's a very different approach to it. Makes a very different flavor. I've not had any of the other 40 Creek whiskeys, but this one here just really... Again, I got it on a recommendation because I hadn't really branched off in Canadian. The only other Canadian whiskey I have is Crown Royal Bourbon Mash, which we'll get into another day.
Right.
Now, it's 86 proof. Mm-hmm. It's a 2-star... Very, very affordable.
Very affordable.
$25 to $30. Nice. I think I paid $28 here in Columbia, South Carolina. And it's. Is
this something that you could pick up at any liquor store, ABC
store? I don't honestly
or...
know on that. It's again, this is my newest bottle. It's not one that I've really looked at, not one I've really researched. But 40 Creek I know is very popular in what we can get. So if we can get the 40 Creek Copper still, you can probably get it anywhere.
And for those of you that are listening, the 40 Creek bottle here, it's got a unique design. It's one of those very, very dark bottles. It's got a copper tone to it. If you look through the light, you can see all the copper tones. The label itself is copper color. It's beautiful, like a mandarin copper look to it.
It's got a screw top.
It's not a cork. But the bottle itself looks pretty interesting. It's got a picture, an image of a copper distilling, what do they call it? Pot still. So it kind of flows with that idea. You can see, like I'm looking through this glass right now, and it's got a copper sheen on the liquid as it bounces through the amber glass there. It's pretty neat.
This was a first for me. This one was kind of life-changing.
Really?
Because I have never really ventured into what I consider... I've had a couple, but I haven't had what I would personally consider a dessert whiskey, being the term of something that is really sweet and really dessert-like.
Right.
I mean, I've had sweeter whiskeys, and yeah, that's a dessert whiskey. It's something you have after dinner, sitting down, relaxing, something a little sweet just to sip on while you're watching a movie.
So this is not something that you just sip on. This is more of like a dinner or after.
No, this is redefined my thought process on
Wow.
dessert whiskey. This is very, very, very sweet. If it's not sickly sweet, but it is very rich. And if anything I say about it in this sense is just going to make it sound terrible, you've got to try it.
Just gotta try
This is definitely my favorite Canadian whiskey. It's our first screw top we've done, actually, so yay to that. But it is very different. Now,
Beautiful.
The nose, taste and finish, as put out by 40 Creek.
Oh my god.
The nose is butterscotch, walnuts, and toffee. The taste is brown sugar, walnuts, spice, butter, and butterscotch. And the finish is waxy, walnut, and spicy. Now, the first time I smelled this...
It smells like a pie, like something you'd get.
Now, the first time I smelled this, I got 100% pure butterscotch, and I couldn't get anything else. And I drank it, and it just followed it through the whole way, and it was wonderful. I love butterscotch.
Like a butterscotch
it was great.
pecan pie.
Now, the second time I went through it, I started getting walnuts.
Yes.
Waxy, that texture that you get off the walnuts kind of resonates, and then I got syrupy. Get a little bit of maple hints in there. Not to sound cliche because it's Canada, but it's true. And
I'd be surprised if it didn't have it.
It's got to have oil, heavy oil. I have not mixed this with water yet. It has to have heavy oils because of that waxy feeling.
And if you look at the glass, it's funny that I'm rotating it around. It's not just slowly dripping down. It's pulling up like motor oil almost as it drains off of an oil pan.
Oh yeah.
It's a thick drip down the glass there. Beautiful color. The color is a gorgeous copper color.
Yeah.
I mean,
now, I will say I could not find any information on whether or not they added color to it. But Canada can add colors and flavors to their whiskeys. So bear that in mind.
what was the
when
other one?
looking at
Scotland?
this. Scotland can
and
do
Canada.
it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I'm sure there
Probably other countries.
I haven't looked much further past that. Those are just the two that have stuck out to me in my research. Scotland kind of threw me, so whenever I heard that, I was really confused. But I knew that Canada could. All right, let's go ahead and first sip. The walnut's just really prevalent for me.
Very strong.
And it's so buttery.
Very strong walnut. Very strong aftertaste of the... It's a butter. It's a buttery.
And we'll relate it. It's not as smooth as Crown Royal.
No.
You get the spicy, which
It is
I
making,
enjoy to an extent.
It's making me salivate.
Yeah,
It's like instant, like, holy cow, you love this, you want more of it.
It's so... This is a dessert whiskey in my mind forever. Nothing... I've got to have something else that compares to this just to compare it to. It's just so rich. It's not sickly sweet.
You know, at some point we're going to have some trash whiskey on here so that we can actually give a review that people are like,
I've got one.
Because it seems like you picked this entire time, you've picked every top of the line very good.
And really, this is, what I wanted to do here starting off is I wanted to kind of jump around from regions. I wanted to give us a good bourbon. I wanted to give us a good Scotch. I wanted to give us a good Canadian.
Yes.
I wanted, I threw in the, what did I do? I did the Strain of Hands. I wanted to throw in an American single malt to kind of bounce off of the Scotch.
You've done really good at picking the best of a good one from each.
And I think next we're gonna do kind of another extreme. I haven't quite decided, but we'll see whenever we get into it. I kind of want to throw some curveballs starting out. I don't want to do what everyone else does. I don't want to sit here and do a review on Jack Daniel's, Jim Beam, Angel's Envy, Blanton's. Just the ones that everybody wants. I want to do the ones that I had a hard time finding information on. Not that Monkey Shoulders is hard to find information on. Everybody loves Monkey Shoulders, but this right here I'd never heard of. I literally walked down the aisle and took a picture of every section, sent it to my buddy in Canada, and he said, "Yeah, just go with the 40 Creek Copper Pot. That's your best bet." And I'm like, "Okay, it's $28. I'll get it next payday." And I went and I got it, and this is a
You took a chance on chance.
yeah, I took a chance on chance.
I like it.
And it was a life-changing event for me. It's amazing how different it is.
The walnut taste to it is pretty strong. But it's almost, imagine like going to one of those the farms where you have the walnuts in the little cans that are coated with the honey and the sugar glaze and the cinnamon.
If they could give me one covered in butterscotch, that hits this on the head.
That's it.
And it's so good. And even then, you get the butterscotch flavor without that sickly sweetness.
It's
and
aftertaste.
that's what I really like. It's the aftertaste. It's not the forward.
Mm-hmm.
You get butter forward on this. You get toffee even. I would even venture off to say toffee. And then with the walnuts, you get this waxy, which I believe is the oils, and we're going to find out here because I'm getting to a point where I'm going to add water. You look like you're there too, so let's go ahead and do that. We're going to do 3 drops. And I have a lot that I have done this with. And it's usually the bigger ones like Blanton's and Angel's Envy and Ardbeg.
And for those listening at home, we're just dropping 3 to 4 drops of water and about half an ounce of the whiskey. And the purpose behind this is it kind of allows the water to separate from the oil and mix the two different. Now, if you would have told me this, a week ago,
yeah.
I would have been like, man, you're crazy. This isn't science. I mean, this is 4 drops of water. What is it going to do? It's not going to dilute it that much.
For science.
But it is 100% science.
It cuts the water soluble aspect, pushes it all the way down, and it boosts those oils up. Now, if you let it sit, they're going to bleed back into it. And you'll get back to your flavor. It'll be a little duller because you've added some water to it. But it just a couple drops, it pushes all that oil up to the top. And each time
it's a whole different taste.
Yeah, we had one, I don't remember which one we did, and it didn't have so much of an effect. And then like on the Stranahans, it just brought up a lot of spice and stuff.
Right.
On the had more effect on the Henry McKenna than I thought it would.
Yeah, that was mind blowing there because it changed the whole compound, the taste.
And I was never planning when we started doing this to do the water, and now I think I'm going to do it every new whiskey. Just because.
And you can literally see a difference in, I don't want to spin the glass around too much, but the coating, it's not running like the thick motor oil it looked like before.
All right, let's give it a try.
That tamed that down a lot.
Oh, I don't get anything but the oily, waxy walnut now.
Yep.
There's no spice.
There's no butterscotch.
Heat.
There's no.
It's just pure walnut. Oh wow, that's so. It's dry. There's no. I got no spice on that. I got no alcohol burn. Nothing.
Imagine just getting a handful of walnuts, throwing them in your mouth.
Powder, because like I said, it's dry. I've lost every bit of dampness in my mouth, and it just carries.
It's funny how that happens. Sometimes you want to mix it. Sometimes you don't.
Oh wow, it's.
And that last drop, I got it back.
No, I didn't. It carried on for me. It's just so. Ooh, I got to drink water now.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where it's hit and miss. I mean, this is our first time trying this with this particular whiskey, and I can honestly say I'm not 100% certain that I would want to do this again with this one.
I would say if you're adventurous, definitely
try it.
But it's not something you're going to do every time.
If you do it, let us know in the comments. Let us know, hey, if you're on YouTube and you're watching this on YouTube, the videos, you'll see exactly what we're doing, how we're doing it, and by all means, try it. Let us know in the comments. Give us some feedback on what your thoughts are. Now, keep in mind, I don't want someone that's trying it that's just like, oh, it just tastes like liquor. No, we're not trying that. We're trying to experiment a little bit with the flavors, the taste.
Now, and also keep in mind, guys, I am by no means an expert.
No.
I research just like all of you. I try new things. I'm lucky enough to have a awesome selection. So if I get something wrong, call me out on it.
Yes, please do.
It happens. We're all human. I get a perception in my mind. If I'm wrong, cite something, throw it up. Let's see it.
100%.
This shout out to Chance. This is
Chance. You did a good one. You gave us a winner.
Now another thing. A lot of people. I'd like to know how y'all
Yes.
pick your whiskeys. Yes, I'm from the South. Y'all.
Y'all.
How yous guys.
Guys and gals. Use.
How do you go into a liquor store and pick a whiskey? I am lucky enough at my local Total Wine, I have an awesome staff who can question, pick details that I want, and push me through the line and say this, and this. And I have people in there that I trust. I'll go in and say, hey, grab me something, and he'll bring it to me. He'll say price range, and boom, there it is, and we're on our way out the door. And I don't even have to look twice. Now, when I started, I went off the bottle. The darker bottles I've always kind of avoided. Yeah. And I regret that now. You know, like a lot of the darker bottles.
You think a lot of the darker bottles are the more impure, like liquors and liqueurs and stuff like that.
But really what it is the darker bottles are to keep more light out so that it has less effect on the whiskey. Now, whiskey does not age in a bottle. It only ages in a barrel. But heat and light affect the way that molecular compound of the whiskey sets in the bottle. So if you heat up a bottle of whiskey,
compound, we're going to get somebody from the science community.
That's just the easiest way for me. I don't know. I'm probably wrong, but it changes the way it tastes.
Yes, UV does break down a lot on a molecular
So if you take this bottle and you leave it in the garage in South Carolina in 105 degree heat, it's going to taste different than the one you pull out the freezer 10 years later.
Our son's a little bit different.
Yeah, we go through 4 seasons in about a month here, so just keep that in mind.
This is definitely a great shot. Thanks, Chance. Great recommendation. And for those that are listening, if y'all have one that y'all want to recommend that's Canadian that you think might be better, please, by all means, comment, send us a link, a message, whatever. Reach out to us. Let us know.
I'm interested in trying. I know 40 Creek has some other selects that they've got. I'm going to try them. I'm going to grab a couple of the other 40 Creeks, but I don't have a lot of influence on Canadian whiskey anyway, so whatever you got, send it to me. I know they've got a more expensive bottle I'm thinking about picking up, but that's going to be after income taxes come in, I think.
Awesome. Well, guys, again, thank you so much for being with us. Can't wait till what you bring us next time.
I've got a plan for next time.
Y'all be safe. Take care. Bye.